Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the life you're living right now is only a fraction of what you're truly capable of? What if the version of you that's meant to rise, to lead, to live with purpose, is trapped behind years of fear, doubt, and hesitation? You were not born to just exist. You were born to create, to conquer, to build the life you truly want. But here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No miracle, no perfect timing, only you, your decisions, your hunger. And the moment you decide to take control, everything begins to change. And ladies and gentlemen, the life you want is not a distant dream. It's right here, waiting for you to claim it. But here's the truth most people never face. Life doesn't give you what you wish for. It gives you what you demand of yourself. Every single one of us is building something, whether consciously or unconsciously. You're either building a future of purpose, passion, and fulfillment, or you're building a cage of comfort, fear, and regret. The difference between the two lies not in talent, not in luck, but in the standards you set for yourself and the level of commitment you bring to every single day. And if you want to build the life you truly desire, you must first break the illusion that it's going to come from outside circumstances. The job, the money, the partner, the car, none of these things will give you fulfillment if you're empty inside. True fulfillment starts when you take full ownership of your state, your focus, and your meaning. When you stop saying, "I hope it happens," and start saying, "I will make it happen," that shift, that internal decision, changes everything. Because once you decide, really decide, that you're no longer available for a life of mediocrity, the universe starts to respond to that vibration. And the foundation of a fulfilled life begins with clarity. Most people wander through life reacting to everything around them, reacting to problems, reacting to people, reacting to fear. But those who build the life they want are not reactors, they are creators. They know exactly what they want. They've designed it in their mind before it ever existed in reality. You cannot hit a target you cannot see, and most people never take the time to define what a meaningful life looks like to them. So ask yourself right now, what does fulfillment mean to you? What do you want your days to feel like, not just look like? Because success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And fulfillment is not about achieving everything. It's about aligning your actions with what truly matters to you. It's about progress, growth, and contribution. You've probably achieved things before that made you proud in the moment but left you empty later. That's because the human spirit doesn't thrive on comfort, it thrives on expansion. When you grow, when you stretch beyond what you thought was possible, something ignites inside you. You feel alive again. That's why the first step in building the life you want is to raise your standards, to demand more from yourself than anyone else would ever expect. And every change in life begins with a decision. Not a "someday I'll do it" kind of decision, but a real one, the kind that cuts off any other possibility. The moment you say, "This is who I am now, this is what I'm committed to," you create an identity shift. And once your identity changes, your behavior naturally follows. You don't have to push yourself, it becomes who you are. If you see yourself as someone disciplined, you'll act disciplined. If you see yourself as a leader, you'll speak and move like one. Your identity drives your destiny, but here's where most people stop. They make a decision and then they expect instant results. That's not how it works. Building the life you want requires persistence. You're going to fail. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to question if it's even worth it. But that's when you're being tested. Those moments are not punishment, they are preparation. Life tests you to see if you're truly serious about your vision. If you quit every time it gets hard, you don't deserve the rewards that come with pushing through. The people who build extraordinary lives don't do it because they have less fear or more luck. They do it because they refuse to give up when everyone else does. And you must condition yourself for greatness every single day. That means mastering your emotions, mastering your focus, and mastering your state. If you wake up every morning and wait to feel ready, you'll never move. You have to generate energy, not wait for it. Move your body, speak your goals out loud, visualize the outcome you want, and connect emotionally to it. The human mind follows emotion, not logic. When you feel something deeply, you act with conviction. And when you act with conviction long enough, the world bends to your will. And another key to fulfillment is contribution. You can have all the money, all the achievements, all the success, but if you're not giving, you'll still feel empty. Because deep down, we're wired to serve. The happiest people on earth are not the ones who get the most, but the ones who give the most. Contribution turns success into meaning. So as you build the life you want, don't just think about what you can gain, think about what you can give. Who will benefit from your growth? Who will rise because you decided to rise? And don't let fear hold you back. Fear is not a signal to stop, it's a signal to grow. Every time you feel fear, it's life inviting you to expand. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that one group has less fear. It's that they act in spite of it. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. You'll never eliminate fear, but you can learn to dance with it. When you do, fear becomes fuel. It sharpens you, focuses you, and pushes you into action. And there's also a plan, a proven plan, to achieve fulfillment. It's simple, but it requires commitment. First, decide exactly what you want. Get specific. Vague goals create vague results. Second, know why you want it. Your why must be powerful enough to pull you through the moments when motivation disappears. Third, create a massive action plan, but stay flexible. If one path doesn't work, change your approach, not your goal. Fourth, condition yourself daily. Feed your mind with empowering beliefs, positive influences, and habits that align with your vision. And finally, celebrate progress, not when you arrive, but every time you move forward. Progress equals happiness. And the key to lasting fulfillment is not perfection, it's momentum. When you're moving towards something that matters, life becomes exciting. You wake up with purpose. You stop counting the days and start making the days count. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you because you realize you are the one you've been waiting for. The life you want doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. You have the power to design it. And so take inventory of your life right now. What areas are thriving and what areas need more of you? Where are you settling for less than you deserve? What beliefs are keeping you small? It's time to challenge them. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your limitations. You are the creator of your destiny, and your decisions today will define your tomorrow. And no more excuses, no more waiting for perfect timing. Perfect timing is a myth created by people who are afraid to act. The time is now. Every moment you hesitate is a moment lost, a moment you could have used to move closer to the life you were born to live. You have the tools, you have the potential, you have the ability to rewrite your story, and all it takes is one decision, one moment of courage, one spark of belief to shift everything. You can build the life you want, you can experience true fulfillment, but it starts with you, the choices you make, the standards you set, and the actions you take when no one is watching. The question is, are you ready to stop dreaming and start building? Because the life you want is already waiting for you to step into it. And every single day you wake up, you're given a gift, another chance to step closer to the life you want. But here's the truth, most people take that gift for granted. They roll over, hit the snooze button, and tell themselves they'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. And before they know it, they've spent a lifetime waiting for the right time to begin. But there is no right time, there is only now. The future doesn't belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who take bold, imperfect action today. The moment you understand that time is not your friend but your most valuable currency, everything changes. And you must decide to become the kind of person who doesn't just talk about change but lives it. The kind of person who doesn't settle for a normal life because they know normal is just another word for average. If you want an extraordinary life, you must become extraordinary in your habits, your mindset, your focus, and your level of commitment. You cannot live like everyone else and expect to have something different. The difference between people who live with passion and those who live in quiet frustration is not luck, it's standards. When you raise your standards, life begins to rise to meet them. And there will be days when your vision feels too big, when your dreams seem impossible, when the weight of your own expectations feels unbearable. But those are the days that define you. Anyone can feel motivated when things are going well. It's easy to be positive when life flows smoothly. But real power is built when you keep moving even when everything inside you screams to stop. You've got to learn to train your mind the way an athlete trains their body, through repetition, discipline, and intensity. Your mind is a muscle. The more you condition it with empowering beliefs and decisive action, the stronger it becomes. And you have to start believing that the life you want is not only possible but inevitable if you refuse to quit. The world doesn't respond to half-hearted effort. It responds to certainty, to energy, to passion. You must learn to approach your goals like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Your sense of fulfillment, your joy, your confidence, your legacy, all of it depends on the decisions you make in those quiet moments when no one's watching. When you choose discipline over distraction, when you choose courage over comfort, when you choose progress over perfection. And fulfillment doesn't come from getting everything you want. It comes from becoming everything you're capable of being. That's why growth matters so much. You are either growing or dying. There's no middle ground. If you're not challenging yourself, you're decaying. The secret is to keep expanding, to keep pushing beyond what you thought was possible for you. The moment you think you've arrived, life begins to shrink. So keep climbing, keep stretching, keep learning, because every new level of growth brings a new level of freedom. And let's be clear, freedom isn't just financial, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. True freedom is the ability to live life on your terms, to wake up excited because you're doing something that matters. It's the ability to say no to things that drain you and yes to the things that set your soul on fire. But that kind of freedom only comes when you're willing to pay the price of effort, the price of discipline, the price of persistence. Most people want the reward without the work. They want transformation without the tension, but growth requires resistance. You can't build strength without pressure. You can't develop character without challenge, and when you feel stuck, remember, you are never truly stuck. You're just afraid to make a decision. The moment you choose to act, you break the pattern. You shift from being a prisoner of your circumstances to being the architect of your destiny. It's not about knowing every step of the path. It's about having faith that you'll figure it out along the way. Life rewards the bold. The universe responds to certainty. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need the courage to move. And one of the greatest lessons you'll ever learn is that success is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if your mindset is weak, you'll sabotage yourself. The opposite is also true. Even with imperfect strategies, if your psychology is strong, you'll find a way. That's because your brain is designed to find evidence to support whatever you believe. If you believe you're capable, you'll act with confidence. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll find excuses. Your beliefs shape your behaviors, and your behaviors shape your destiny. So take control of that inner dialogue. Don't let fear narrate your story. Replace doubt with certainty. Replace I can't with I must. And as you move through this journey, surround yourself with people who demand more from you than you demand from yourself. Environment is everything. If you spend time with people who play small, who complain, who settle, that energy will drag you down. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who hold you accountable, your standards will naturally rise. You can't soar like an eagle while walking with turkeys. Choose your circle wisely. Your energy is contagious. Make sure you're catching something worth keeping. And you also need to cultivate gratitude, because gratitude is the foundation of joy. It's easy to chase the next achievement, the next milestone, the next level, but fulfillment comes when you can appreciate what you have while still pursuing what you want. Gratitude doesn't make you complacent, it keeps you grounded. It reminds you that even when life feels hard, there's still something to be thankful for. Every challenge carries a gift, every setback holds a lesson. Gratitude turns obstacles into opportunities and problems into progress. And another crucial step in building the life you want is mastering your emotions. Too many people let temporary feelings dictate permanent decisions. They get angry and quit. They get discouraged and stop. But emotions are not commands, they're signals. They're messages telling you something needs to change. Learn to feel your emotions without becoming them. You can feel fear and still act courageously. You can feel doubt and still move forward. The power is in your ability to choose your response. When you master your emotional state, you become unstoppable. And remember this, fulfillment is not a destination. It's a daily practice. It's built in the moments you choose to show up when you don't feel like it, to smile when you're tired, to give when you have little left, to keep faith when the outcome is uncertain. It's in the small victories, the quiet wins, the consistent effort. Every time you follow through on a promise you made to yourself, you build self-trust. And that trust becomes confidence, that confidence becomes momentum, and that momentum builds a life that feels meaningful. And there will be voices, both inside and outside, telling you to stop. Telling you it's too hard, too risky, too late. Don't listen. Those voices come from fear, not truth. Fear will always try to talk you out of your greatness because it knows what you're capable of. The moment you choose to rise above fear, you step into your power. You become the person who inspires others to rise. And that's what it means to live fulfilled, to grow so much that your very existence becomes an example of what's possible. And so keep going, keep believing, keep building. The plan works if you do. The formula is simple but powerful: clarity, purpose, action, growth, and contribution. Get clear on what you want. Attach purpose to it so strong that quitting isn't an option. Take relentless action every single day. Commit to constant growth mentally, physically, spiritually, and give back. Because the more you give, the more fulfilled you become. And you don't have to have all the answers, you just need to have the hunger. Hunger is what drives every great transformation. Hunger to be more, to do more, to give more. When you're hungry, you'll find a way. When you're hungry, you'll turn pain into power. When you're hungry, you'll rise again and again, no matter how many times life knocks you down. And right now, you are capable of so much more than you realize. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it. Change the story and you change your life. Because the truth is, you were born to live with purpose. You were born to rise. You were born to create something extraordinary. And the life you want is waiting, not in some distant future, not when things get easier, not when you feel ready, but right now, in this moment, in the choices you make, in the standards you raise, in the belief you build. And every time you choose growth over fear, purpose over comfort, and action over excuses, you take another step closer to that life of true fulfillment. And when you start to realize that every choice you make is shaping the quality of your life, you begin to move with greater intention. You stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose. You stop waiting for someone to hand you an opportunity because you understand that the opportunity is already in your hands. It's in your ability to decide, to act, to create. Life responds to those who show up with conviction. When you fully commit, when you burn the boats and eliminate the option of retreat, something powerful awakens inside you. You access a level of strength you didn't even know existed. You become unstoppable not because everything is easy, but because you refuse to let anything stop you. And every person who's ever built an extraordinary life has faced moments of complete uncertainty. They've been afraid, they've been doubted, they've been told they were crazy for believing in something no one else could see. But that's the price of building a vision that's bigger than the opinions around you. The people who change their lives and the world are the ones who don't wait for approval. They move forward even when no one claps. They understand that the journey of greatness is often a lonely one. But that solitude is where transformation happens. That's where resilience is forged, where strength is built, where purpose becomes unshakable. And you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth doesn't come from what you already know. It comes from what challenges you, stretches you, and tests your limits. The moments that feel the hardest are the ones sculpting your future self. You can't build a strong foundation without pressure, without struggle, without resistance. The pain you feel in the process is the proof that you're evolving. Every challenge you overcome is a piece of the person you're becoming. So instead of avoiding discomfort, learn to embrace it. Let it shape you, let it fuel you, because one day you'll look back and realize that the very things that once felt unbearable became the reason you became unbreakable. And when you build the life you want, you must guard your mind as if it were a treasure chest, because it is. Your thoughts determine your emotions determine your actions, and your actions determine your destiny. Most people lose before they ever begin because they lose control of their focus. They give attention to everything that drains their energy, the negativity, the comparisons, the doubts, instead of feeding what empowers them. You must discipline your focus like a warrior. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can create. Focus on the next right move. Every thought you entertain is either building your dream or destroying it. Choose wisely, and remember, no one succeeds alone. Behind every great life is a network of people who challenge, inspire, and support that vision. Seek out those who push you to be better. Seek out those who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. But also, be that person for others. Be the one who lifts, who encourages, who reminds people of their strength. Because fulfillment doesn't come from reaching the top alone. It comes from bringing others up with you. When you start to serve beyond yourself, something miraculous happens, your life expands. You stop chasing happiness and start creating it through impact. And there's something extraordinary that happens when you align your life with a purpose bigger than comfort. You stop playing small, you stop settling for good enough. You start living with a fire that others can feel. People will notice that energy, they'll be drawn to it because it's rare. Most people drift through life half awake, living in reaction, letting fear dictate their direction. But when you wake up with purpose, when you move with passion, when you speak with conviction, you become magnetic. That energy can move mountains, that energy can change your life, and building the life you want also requires one vital ingredient, faith. Not blind faith in luck, but faith in your own ability to adapt, to overcome, to figure things out. You won't always see how it's going to work. You won't always have the plan perfectly laid out, but if you trust in your capacity to grow, you'll find your way. Faith is what keeps you moving when logic says you're done. Faith is what whispers, keep going, when everything else tells you to stop. And every time you act in faith, you strengthen that inner muscle. Eventually, your faith becomes stronger than your fear. But faith alone isn't enough. You must pair it with action. Dreams without action die as fantasies. It's not what you think or hope or wish for that changes your life. It's what you do consistently, even when you don't feel like it. The small daily disciplines are what separate those who talk about success from those who live it. It's waking up early when your mind says 5 more minutes. It's pushing through that final rep when your body says I'm done. It's making the call, sending the email, showing up one more time when no one would blame you for quitting. That consistency builds character, and character builds destiny. And there will be seasons when it feels like nothing is working. When you're putting in the effort but the results seem invisible, that's when most people give up, right before the breakthrough. They don't realize that growth is happening beneath the surface. Just like a seed buried in the soil, transformation takes time. You can't rush the process, you can't demand instant rewards, but if you stay committed, if you keep showing up, something incredible begins to unfold. Suddenly, all those unseen hours, all those sacrifices, all that persistence, it compounds. Momentum kicks in. What once felt impossible becomes your new normal, and the key is to fall in love with the process, not just the outcome. Because if you only find joy in the destination, you'll spend most of your life frustrated. Real fulfillment comes when you can find purpose in the grind, when you can wake up and say, I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm closer than I was yesterday. Progress, not perfection, is the fuel for happiness. Every step forward is a victory, every failure is a lesson. Every obstacle is an opportunity to evolve, and when you live with that mindset, nothing can break you. You stop seeing problems as punishments and start seeing them as pathways. You stop blaming the world for your situation and start asking, what is this here to teach me? That question changes everything. It shifts you from victim to creator. It empowers you to find meaning in every experience. Even the hardest moments can serve you if you let them. The pain you carry today can become the purpose you give tomorrow. And you also need to remember that your energy is your greatest asset. Protect it fiercely. Don't waste it on negativity, on gossip, on trying to please people who will never understand your vision. Pour it into what matters: your growth, your goals, your gratitude. Wake up each morning and prime your mind for victory. Move your body, speak your affirmations, visualize your success. Because when your state is strong, your performance follows. You cannot operate at a high level from a low emotional state. Energy creates clarity, and clarity drives execution. And there's a powerful truth you must accept. Your life will never exceed your identity. You can't outperform the story you tell yourself about who you are. So, if you want to create lasting change, stop trying to change the result and start changing the root. Redefine who you are at your core. If you see yourself as someone disciplined, focused, and resilient, your behavior will follow. Identity is destiny. The moment you upgrade how you see yourself, your entire life begins to shift. And so ask yourself, who do I need to become to live the life I want? Because that's the real work. Not waiting for things to get easier, but becoming stronger. Not hoping for opportunities, but preparing for them. You are the project. You are the foundation. Everything else in your life is built on who you decide to be. And the beautiful thing is, you can decide right now. You can rewrite the script. You can change the narrative. And there's no limit to what you can create when you combine hunger with purpose, faith with action, vision with persistence. The world bends to those who refuse to settle, who demand more from life and from themselves. Every great transformation starts with a single decision: the decision to rise above your excuses, to step into your potential, to live intentionally instead of accidentally. And when you commit to that decision fully, your entire reality begins to shift in ways you could never imagine. And because the truth is, the life you want isn't built overnight. It's built every day through every choice, every thought, every action. And the moment you realize that, you take back your power. You stop chasing fulfillment and start creating it moment by moment, decision by decision, until one day you wake up and realize that you've become the person you were always meant to be, the person who didn't just dream of a better life but built it. And the moment you realize that you've become the person who didn't just dream of a better life but built it, everything changes. You start to walk differently, speak differently, think differently. You stop carrying the weight of the past because you understand that your past is not a prison, it's preparation. Every failure, every heartbreak, every delay was sculpting you into the person capable of handling what's coming next. Life doesn't give you what you ask for. It gives you what you're prepared to sustain. You might not have understood it in the moment, but every storm you've survived was training you for strength you'd need later. And there's a version of you waiting on the other side of your fear. A version more confident, more capable, more alive. But you'll never meet that version if you keep running from discomfort. You have to be willing to walk through the fire because transformation doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the heat of pressure. The fire doesn't destroy you, it refines you. It burns away what you're not so you can become who you are meant to be. Every time you take a step through fear, you claim more of your potential. You start to see that fear was never the enemy, it was the invitation. And every day you have a choice to live by default or by design, to react to life or to create life, to keep surviving or to start thriving. Those choices are made in the smallest of moments, the moment you decide to get up when you're tired, the moment you choose gratitude over complaining, the moment you take action when no one's cheering you on. The compounding effect of those small, consistent decisions creates unstoppable momentum. You don't need to make one huge leap. You just need to keep taking the next right step again and again until the life you're building starts to resemble the vision that lives inside you. And there will come a point when you realize that success is not a destination but a rhythm, a daily dance between progress and patience. You can't control everything, but you can control how you show up. You can control your mindset, your work ethic, your attitude, and your willingness to grow. When you start mastering those, the external results follow naturally. People often chase outcomes, but true achievers chase alignment. They focus on becoming the kind of person who attracts success rather than chasing it desperately. When you align your energy, your habits, and your vision, life starts moving in your favor because you're no longer fighting yourself. You're flowing with purpose. And you'll meet resistance not because you're failing, but because you're growing. Resistance is a sign you're on the right path. It's life testing your commitment, asking, how bad do you really want it? Anyone can say they want change, but few are willing to endure the growing pains that come with transformation. So, when resistance shows up, don't retreat, lean into it. That's where the magic happens, that's where character is built. The obstacles you face are not walls meant to stop you. They're gates meant to be unlocked by perseverance. And you must also learn the power of reframing. The story you tell yourself about your experiences determines whether they weaken or strengthen you. Two people can live through the same situation. One sees defeat, the other sees direction. The difference is perspective. If you start viewing challenges as training instead of punishment, you begin to harness life instead of fighting it. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift turns pain into power, frustration into focus, and setbacks into setups for your next breakthrough. And another truth you must embrace is that mastery takes time. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification where everyone wants quick results without putting in the work. But anything that comes quickly disappears just as fast. The life you want isn't microwave. It's built through seasons of dedication, through nights of doubt and mornings of renewed effort. The longer it takes, the more it prepares you, because when you finally arrive, you won't just have success, you'll have substance. You'll have resilience, wisdom, and the certainty that you earned every bit of it. And there will be moments when no one understands what you're doing. People will question you, doubt you, even criticize you, but remember this, they can't see what you see. They weren't given your vision for a reason, it was meant for you. Stop expecting people to understand your grind when they've never experienced your calling. Your journey will confuse those who have settled for comfort, but you weren't born for average. You were born to lead, to build, to create impact. So, instead of chasing approval, chase purpose. Let your results speak for you, and as you rise, never forget humility. Stay grounded in gratitude, because success without gratitude turns to arrogance, and arrogance blinds you to growth. No matter how far you go, stay teachable. The most powerful people in the world are also the most curious. They know that there's always another level, another lesson, another way to serve. When you stay humble, you stay open, and that openness keeps you evolving. And it's also vital to reconnect with your why when the journey gets heavy. Your why is the anchor that keeps you steady in the storm. It's the emotional fuel that turns pain into progress. When you remember why you started, who you're doing it for, what it means to you, you tap into a power far greater than motivation. Motivation fades, purpose sustains. Purpose gives meaning to the struggle. It turns obstacles into obligations, something you must face because giving up is no longer an option. And every person has two voices inside them, one that says, stay safe, and one that whispers, go further. The first voice will always try to protect you from pain. It will sound reasonable, even kind, but the second voice, the one that tells you to step out, to take risks, to dream bigger, that's the voice of your potential. You have to learn to listen to it even when it scares you, because that voice knows who you're meant to be. The more you honor it, the louder it becomes. The more you ignore it, the quieter your spirit becomes. And the saddest thing in life is not failure. It's potential that was never realized because fear was louder than faith. And as you keep building, you'll start to see that life is not about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. You were never meant to fit into the mold society gave you. You were meant to break it and build your own design. You have the power to reinvent yourself at any moment. You can change your habits, your beliefs, your direction, your entire story. You're not defined by where you've been. You're defined by where you decide to go next. Every day is a blank page. Every decision is a stroke of the pen. Write something that excites you, and there will come a time when you'll stand at a crossroads between who you are and who you could be. The difference between the two is courage. Courage to let go of old identities. Courage to embrace uncertainty. Courage to believe in yourself even when there's no proof yet. And the truth is, no one else can give you that courage. It's a muscle you build through action. The more you step forward despite fear, the stronger that muscle grows. Eventually, courage becomes your new normal. And you'll also come to realize that fulfillment is not found in what you get, but in who you become. You can chase success, wealth, recognition, but none of it will fill you if you're empty inside. True fulfillment comes from alignment, when your actions reflect your values, when your success adds meaning, when your growth benefits others. You don't just want a life that looks good. You want a life that feels good, one that makes you proud not just for what you've achieved, but for how you achieved it. And when you live from that space, you stop comparing your journey to others. You understand that your timing is your timing. What's meant for you will arrive exactly when you're ready for it. Comparison steals peace, but gratitude restores it. You realize that you're not in competition with anyone else. You're in collaboration with your destiny. Every experience, even the painful ones, is part of your training. Life is preparing you for something greater than you can see right now. And so, when you face the next challenge, and you will, don't shrink, stand taller, look it in the eye and say, I was built for this, because you are. Every lesson, every tear, every victory has been shaping you for this very moment. And as long as you keep growing, keep giving, and keep believing, the life you want isn't a question of if. It's only a question of when.